Tonight I'm going to make a traditional beef stew using open fire in a fire ring. This one is pretty oversized, pretty tall fire ring. I really wanted to do it with a tripod, and it's not really a great fit here. I just don't want to put it on a regular old grill there, so I'm kind of making the tripod fit, and then we're going to see how well it works. I've already made my tinder and kindling, and I'm going to use it's waxed wood shavings as my fire starter. So I'll get that down in the middle, and then let's get some of this dry wood shavings here on top. Log cabin here. And we do have a good bit of a breeze here, so hopefully that's going to let some extra oxygen in there to help fuel the fire further. Okay, let's cut some vegetables here. We'll start with the potatoes. We're just quartering them down. Well, a few more than a quarter. Maybe 1/8. Okay, now let's do the carrots. They'll stay on board. all of these vegetables are going to cook for, or simmer for about an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours. So it's not like I'm putting them into a crock pot for 8 hours. So I do want to not have them be too big so that they'll have time to cook all the way through. In that shorter time period. My picnic table's on, actually this whole campsite is on a little bit of an angle, so nothing is sitting flat. Next is an onion. Okay, I pre-mixed before the trip some flour, pepper, granulated onions, and garlic salt, and then a little bit of regular salt as well. Doesn't have to be much. What I want to do is bread the stew meat, which I got here, that will, for that, before I put it in the Dutch oven. So let's put the meat inside, and we'll mix it up. I got about 1.5 pounds, so that should be enough for 3 portions. And let's put a nice coating now on the meat, so we'll add some flavor to the stew. And I think I put about the right amount in because I don't see a lot of extra flour mix floating around, but I do see a little, so maybe I'll take the meat out a piece at a time and when I add it into the Dutch oven so that I don't add a lot of extra flour. Okay, so that's now ready to go. And we just need to wait now for the fire to create a lot of good coals. And then I'll need to tend the fire for that 1:45 to 2 hour period to make sure I keep as steady as possible of the fire there. Our fire is really raging now. And I hope in about 45 minutes or so I should have a good base of coals so that I can then start our cooking operation. I started the fire at about 3:30. My rough guess for dinner time is, well, 3:30, about 2 hours or so to really get a base of coals going, and then around 5:30 or so I hope to get the Dutch oven going, and guessing that'll take about 2 hours as well, so we'll probably eat around 7:30. Let's see how close we get to that. Okay, the fire is burning down to some good coals now, and so I just put the Dutch oven on the chain, got to a height I think I like, and I'm going to start by adding a bit of oil in here for the meat. And I'm gonna hand put in the meat because there is some extra flour here that I don't want to add in. Not too much. Okay, now we're going to brown the meat. All right, the meat is browning pretty quickly. So now I'm going to add beef broth, and then I'll add the vegetables. So again, we have potatoes, carrots, onions, and garlic. I'm going to add tomato paste. let's put the top on and note the time. Coals look pretty good under there, but I'll keep my eye on it. And I may have to add some small pieces just to kind of stoke the fire to keep it going throughout this period. I'll check on this probably every 10 or 15 minutes or so and then stir it a little bit. And now that the top is on, and of course it's very hot, I could use my oven mitts that I have to hold on. But you can buy a cover lifter kind of thing, but I actually have a small shovel that came with a pick on the side. And I didn't invent this idea. I've seen other people doing it. You can take it right off with that. And wow. Well, that's really starting to look good. And there. Just want to make sure all the meat is kind of floating around off the bottom. We're good. So that works pretty well if you don't want to go out and spend 20 bucks or whatever on a lid lifter. So we've been going for about an hour now, and coals are down pretty good there. I keep adding a piece every 10 or 15 minutes or so, just a small piece to kind of keep the heat going there underneath it. When I do take the top off, it bubbles pretty good, so I know it's good and hot inside the Dutch oven. And because this is a liquid, almost like a soup, the way the stew is being made, there's really no reason to put any coals on top of the cover for this recipe. Okay, I think we're ready. Okay, yep, I think that's definitely ready. So I'm going to let it cool for a couple of minutes, and then we'll serve and see how it tastes. Now the cast iron, it really holds the heat, so even after it's taken off the fire, you could still really see everything bubbling down there. Boy, look at the steam come off of this. It's still pretty hot. Really good flavor. I don't think I would season it anymore. If you'll recall, I had the bag of flour with some seasonings mixed in with it. And as it turned out, that was, and for me, that was the perfect amount of spice. So anyway, very easy to cook a meal like this. I mean, you do have to wait for a while and tend the fire from time to time and stir a little bit. But in terms of just cutting up the vegetables and browning the meat and then mixing them together, and then you kind of just stand by while it's being prepared. And I've made 3 meals here. This is a solo trip for me, so I have 2 more that I'm going to put in the Tupperware for future nights here while I'm on the trip. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching how that got done. And if you enjoyed this episode, please press the like button and consider subscribing for more episodes, additional cooking, gear reviews, also tours of campgrounds like the one where I'm at right now. And I'll see you on the next one.